So today we're going to be looking at the plants that I've used for dioramas throughout the years, all of the different things that I've come up with, I guess. I pulled out some stuff from my main diorama, which is down below, and I guess I'm not going to be taking you there today. Maybe I'll do a story, or what are they, a reel? Maybe I'll be able to do that a short minute tour of the plants that are down below. I have pulled some up. It's very hard to get this vine on the back wall of my diorama, but I thought it was necessary for this video, and it's one of my favorite things that I definitely have used a lot in my dioramas. There are some things that I know that I have to get rid of. There are some newer items that I've bought recently that I am ecstatic about. So let's just get through it. I guess we're not ready to start. In this video, I am gonna get rid of all of the terracotta pots. But, okay, this is in front, so let's just peel this away. So you might have seen the video, I think it was on this channel, that I did construct this, or at least talk about this, which these are just stickers from Dollar Tree. These are also sponges from Dollar Tree. The wire could be from Dollar Tree or from any dollar store, really. It's just a plant wire. Can't remember if it's from another dollar store, but otherwise all of this stuff is 1/6 thrift, so it is thrifted or dollar store or something like this. But I did glue the wires together with a big chunk of glue, made the pad, the scrub pad, as soil, and then I bent the wires and stuck the stickers up front. Now, maybe I could have hot glued the stickers on a bit better. Maybe I could have bought double the stickers and stuck some behind, but the leaves do fall off all the time, and yeah, I don't know if I could reproduce this. Oh, whoops. I don't know. I don't know if it's good enough for me, but I do like it how it turned out. I didn't necessarily like the yellow color in here, but I did like the watercolor of these flowers. You might still be able to find them at the Dollar Tree. It wasn't that long ago. I do like how this plant looks. It's very nice, but the ease of use, and it's it's too temperamental because you do have to make sure that the angle is right, but it's definitely an option. 3D stickers on wires look pretty sweet, like they're hand painted and everything. They look amazing. So this was good, but also terracotta pots. Let's skip over from plants to terracotta pots. Now check out this collection. So when I bought some of my latest terracotta pots, I also found some wooden pots, and they're not as heavy. They don't take up as much space. I guess we're gonna, yeah, I'll come back to that too, but I am going to discard my huge collection of terracotta, even though I love it. I don't have that going on in my home right now because I don't know when I'm not going to be home or the future of anything. So I once had so many plants. I used to have so many plants, but I went away once, and then of course they all died. So you have to be there for your plants, or they just don't last. So I have some bigger ones, bigger pots that I often use for like outside. They look like more, or you put a tree in them, but those are also going. Okay, back to the plants. All right, so this vine I think must have come on a light. I have to find better more versions of these because I do use this all the time, and I can't believe I took it off the back wall because it's really hard for me to get to the back wall of my diorama. It's so large, but if you notice, the leaf is softer and it's more of a ribbon than this other one that I have bought, which I thought would do the same thing. You know what? It's actually pretty nice. I'm very sometimes you can get plants that look really cheap. I'm very, very particular about it. This actually is a pretty nice, if you bend it properly, this could be, it's nice and full. And it doesn't have too much gloss, which is you want a little bit of shine on your plants, but you don't want too much, or then they start to look plasticky. But this actually does look pretty good, and I could see using it, so no wonder I bought this. However, summer's over now. Am I going to find a time to do this? Or maybe I should put this on my back wall as something that's more permanent. But I do like how soft and how this drapes and hangs, and I thought it definitely was necessary to hang on the back wall, at least for the thumbnail, because you can see how realistic it looks, and it also has that like Victorian Greek kind of Roman thing aesthetic that I love so much. But okay. Just a segue here. We do have to go. We have to, on another day, we will look at all of the artwork and the stuff that I use as artwork in an upcoming video. But if you don't want to go for plants, even in real life, pictures of plants often suffice and are just as good. All right, vines. Vines can look incredible. We've done those. Am I gonna keep this? No, God. I don't know. That I can't decide with, because it actually is pretty nice. Okay, so in one of my latest hauls, you might have seen that I bought this fern ball. So, I mean, you're going to have to go back and see, because I took it apart in that video. But all of these little it was just a ball, and they had all these leaves floating around it. Now, the color of this I wasn't so sure of either, because there is a lot of yellow in it. But once I stuck it in a pot, I was very, very happy, and it does look good. You can make the fern look as lush by stacking them up inside. So this was oh wow, this looks amazing. So this was a very good find. I guess ferns are a little more shiny than normal, and I have so many of these because, once again, it was just this ball of leaves that came off. And scale, I always go on about scale. It's very, very important, and you can see that the leaves, the smaller branches on this, are very tiny. Now, it could be in real life just tiny tips of ferns or a smaller fern, but it does look like a good fern, and I kind of want to do a fern terracotta pot room before I discard all of them, but I don't think I will. And yeah, it's going away. Alright, here's something else that I've never used, but this is from Wow, What a Deal, a special Canadian special store that, I don't know, these are little wedding flowers, so do look in the party sections, and do look in the wedding favor sections for little things, but the fact that these are made out of cloth makes it better. So little rosettes, I have not used them. I'm a boy, and I don't really love flowers. There's only, I do like plants a lot, but flowers can get a little too flowery for me. It's just not my vibe. There's differences between boys and girls. There really is. And but these ones, quality, I could see potential in there. However, I've never used the potential. I should probably take them out of the plastic bag and put them in one of my bins, here's a segue to this stuff. So, what do you call this stuff? I don't know, but my style does tend to baby's breath. I think that's kind of what it's called, or something similar to it, or it appears to be. So dried flowers kind of are like that boho thing does kind of fit my style. Some of it does work, but I do find it a little bit too try hard, so I do want to avoid it, and it just seems a little too 70s. But for a while I did. I'm going to show you more of these that I bought, but I don't know if I ever do want to use them. But you can see how nice it can look, and maybe boho is your style. Maybe you do like that more 70s vibe. I also had this thing that I was obsessed with, and I guess that picture is going to have to stay out of. And I did this whole thing too, so I found this pot, which looks like a giant pot in 1/6 scale sitting on your floor, and then we have that whole boho tall grass thing, and I did buy plenty of this tall grass so that I could, and then I bought it in different colors so I could switch it up, but I kind of don't want. I do like the aesthetic, but maybe it's been done so much. You know, those Instagram girls did it a little too much that it's kind of sickening, and maybe they did it in the wrong way and it's overdone. But if you're doing a real 70s vibe or a mid-century modern, it could totally fit in. So you can see that, like, I'm looking at that and it looks really pretty, and the fact, again, I paid attention to scale and the fact that these were so tiny that they look like real tiny dried flowers, and this looked like, as this was supposed to be real grass, but it looks like longer thick sticks. And you know, you can also buy, which I've been tempted, those feathery things, which I have seen at places like the Dollar Tree, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go that way. I'm just getting out of that way. I might not even want to keep this pot, actually. In fact, I don't know. I don't know if I can. I think I can give it some kind of worldly Moroccan thing, so I think I will keep it for that purpose. I don't think I'll be putting tall grasses in it, but yeah, I can see this being more of a giant pioneer jug. Yeah. I see potential in that. I'm still going to keep that. The tall grasses, however, I mean, there is still potential in the right elements. I don't know. Here's a little pot that I love so much. Only one of those. Just, it was a thrifted pot. Now it has to be a giant pot for outside. And here, let's see what other plants we have in here. This. All right, here's an example of something that is too shiny. I say that, but when I look at it in the camera, it does look shiny, but it looks pretty good, actually. This because the pot is so big, I do see this as an outside planter than I mean, it could be here. Let me bring in a 1/6 scale action doll. So yeah, see, that does look pretty good as a pot. The pot actually isn't that big, and it does fit. We've got one little flower on it. I'm actually surprised. I think that this stuff was from, if I'm not mistaken, this was aquarium plants. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to look around the stores. Yeah, it definitely was an aquarium plant because I have the bases on them, and I'm not sure which store I bought them at. But if you, you gotta test this stuff. But again, I was looking for scale, so it was the leaf size that was most important to me. And I think at the time I wanted to do something a little more surreal, something for Cave Club, and so yeah, check these out. Oh yeah, and I guess depending on what pot you put it in, really makes a huge difference and can really dictate how the plant looks. Now see, that doesn't really go together, but it did look quite good in here. Let's find, all right, here. I'm gonna use this, so we will look more at the pots that I will use, and then these come off here. You often want to take the stuff apart to be able to put the things in, but yeah, that definitely has potential. It definitely looked better in this pot. This is probably the magic pot that's going to make everything look really, really good. Okay, let's see. One little fern. I am surprised that one little fern coming out of there looks totally okay, but when you stack these, that does look really, really nice. Yeah, loving that. I'm really surprised because they are so yellow, and that is not what I like. I don't think many people don't want yellow in their plants, but it seems to translate very well once you have it potted. You know, what a lush fern. So these are just one-offs. Again, this is a one-off thrift find, and it's a pot made out of wood, which is totally my jam. We don't have to worry about any waterproofing because we're not using real water, which in real life, that's one of the problems. Okay, so at the Dollarama in Canada, I used to use these all the time, I guess. I don't. I guess I like. I guess I like some of the other things I have better, and it is a more modern Asian kind of feel to this cement pot. So this was a very, very good find, and I was very happy to find these. So, and also mostly succulents, which, do I like succulents? Yeah, I do like succulents, but it is a different feel. It's more of a colder tropical field. I found that mixing these pots with other pots that I use didn't really work, but I did find a few different styles. So these also worked really good as outdoor plants. So any outdoor scenes, which I haven't been doing recently, they really did work very well. So I think what I did was I bought did I buy them in threes or something? Let's see here. It seems I have 3 of these and 2 of these. I noticed that these 2 are off-centered, which I don't really like. But, you know, just by moving them around, and also why not have them asymmetrical? And then especially if you're doing a doorway where you got this opening, which can totally work. But then I guess I bought this one because it was less asymmetrical and it's more of a nice standalone. And then if you put them in a triplex, you could really just make them look nice together. Anyway, these are very suitable for many different decors, more of a modern decor. And again, I love the cement pots, and everything's glued together. There's rocks in the bottom, and those were supposed to be just tiny little desk pot plants. Okay, and on a similar note, ones that I've also found at the Dollarama in Canada is where I got these. I think you can still get versions of these. However, they're not as nice. I think that they didn't use as nice wax, or they didn't paint them as well, or there's something a little different about them. But the first versions of these, the ground isn't as nice either. These look so incredible, and I am a huge fan of them. But again, I have put them away and haven't used them for a while. And they came in sets of 3 or something, and they were maybe a little more expensive, but I thought it was worth it to get the different sets and to get 2 of each. So they have different styles of them, and also they're candles. So I did cut off the wicks. You can see on most of them that there was a wick in there eventually, or before. And yeah, I think that there's 3 different styles, and I think you buy them. I don't know how many sets I bought of each. It seems I bought 3 sets of each, if I'm not mistaken. So I do have 3 of each. I do like to decorate in 3s. I always think that looks good. And yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, more of these aquarium plants, which I'm quite surprised at how good they look. But they are a little creepy. They do look like alien plants up close, and some other fluorescent ones. They did look very good as cave club plants, I have to say, for out of this world or prehistoric plants. They do definitely look like that, but I don't know how often I would want to use them again, and they kind of look gross to me. So yeah, unless I'm doing some kind of gross alien scene, which I can't see me doing anytime in the near future, I think these might have to go. We have to save space. We can't save everything. So yeah, I think that these might not be able to stay. Okay, And even these ones, as much as I like them, this looks really, really good. And I think depending on, what theme you're going for, that one bloomed flower. Is this the same one as the other one? Oh yeah, no, I've got a few of these. But I do like that one bloomed flower. It does look pretty cool. Okay. Alright. What else do we have in here? We're gonna step back into the boho world. I think these things came on the wild grasses that I bought. I think they came on these, and I took everything apart. You can see I bought some green ones, and I bought some brown ones, and even the sticks, the metal wire that they were attached to cut off. I found that if you were going to go for that boho look, those wires didn't look so bad. They kind of look like some bamboo sticks that are stuck in there in your grass. So there's definitely some foliage decoration that you could go crazy with, and it does look pretty good. But I think I'm moving on. It's not my style, which scares me about this next thing that I'm going to show you. I bought so many of these. Now the bottles are still out of scale. I mean, there is potential to use these bottles, but I bought them for every color, which I guess this was a mistake. Please let them. Oh, they were the cheapest price. Well, I don't know if it's the cheapest price point, but they were only $1.25 each. They are pretty nice boho flowers, but I think I can honestly say it was a mistake. And I bought lots of the white ones because I thought those are the ones that I was going to use the most. And they do look really pretty. They also were really hard to get out of these bottles. But I think I'm moving on. Sometimes you need a pop of color though, but yeah, I don't think it's happening. I think it's easier just to count my losses and move on. Floral tape always comes in handy, so I definitely have that in here. You never know when you're going to have to bunch some things together. And I guess that brings me to these. So this is a recent Little Loose Flowers. Again, I showed them on this channel, I believe, in a haul video. And these are, now if I was going to buy some flowers for the house, I think lilies would be one of the way to go. I'm kind of a daisy kind of guy. If I'm giving somebody flowers, I give them daisies, but I think that's what I used to do. But I think in more modern times, lilies, they're elegant, they're sleek, they're simple, so they are kind of my jam right now. And what I did was you can see I wrapped these up with some string and some paper and put them in this little thing. I just had all of these extra ones because what I really wanted to do was just do a simple little one-leaf vessel, and look how I bent the wire over, and then I just used the other end of the wire as it's like a little loose bud or a leaf so that was a happy accident that I thought turned out really nice. But my original look, we're getting to see some of the stuff that's in the diorama. My original one was just putting a few of them into this wooden vase that I had that I really loved, and also you can see how the other ends of these are making really nice leaves into the vase. So yeah, nice lilies, displayed in two different ways, a more modern, elegant way, a more old-fashioned kind of way, and I have them scattered throughout the diorama down below. Should we move on to anything else before I talk about these barrels? So this is a succulent that I have been definitely enjoying using. It's more of a palm tree kind of thing. I actually can't remember Yeah, I can't remember what it originally was in. Maybe it was in a small pot that I probably just discarded. But, you know, I just made a big bunch of plastic or tape to make it fill the barrel. I had it in a smaller barrel. Let's pull that out. So I guess we're gonna be looking at the. Oh yeah, I do have one of the smaller ones. Now these are from the Dollar Tree, and I love them. And I did really like how this looked. And I did have it like this for quite a while because you got to see the bottoms of the palm looking really good. So it did look good in that barrel, but I think that I wanted to use the barrels for something else, and it also looked just as good as here. So you can change the total look of your plant by depending on, you know, what you put it in. Even if you're putting it in the same vessel. I love these barrels though. I have only found them one time at Dollar Tree, and then I never saw them again. But you can get them in different sizes, and I collected some of each. So I'm very happy. They kind of matryoshka themselves too, which comes in kind of handy. But yeah, those are a sweet find, and I do totally love using them in the dioramas. And I guess I can show you, I can pull out the one last plant that I have in here. Again, some kind of thrifted little nautical pot that I had. Love it so much. And then I guess just some tiny little plant that I bought, and then I ripped the little, I don't even remember what this was from, but I would have just ripped it out of whatever container that they had it in and just stuck these all in loose, so it does look like a little succulent in a nice, you know, nautical pot that I would definitely want in my home. So yeah, and I like how I pulled that out and it's just haphazardly sticking out. However, maybe I wanna zhuzh it in a few different places. Anyway, let me put that back in the diorama. I noticed that my diorama is a little dusty. We have to do some dusting down there. And also, I mean, fall is coming. I do think I have a punch for a maple leaves, but other ways that you can add greenery is just by, and I think I'm going to do this, I always wanted to do this and I never got around to it, is just get some fall colored paper and I'll punch out some leaves. I'm pretty sure I have a maple leaf punch, but I do have these shamrocks that I like to put in a cauldron around the St. Patrick's Day and decorate that way. So these don't come in handy that very often, but they do add some greenery and really fun to have lots of punched leaves to throw around depending on what you're doing. Here's more of that stuff. This stuff I'm definitely throwing out. I think that these things come in handy. These were the bases from the aquariums, but I could see myself plugging other plants into here to weight them down. So perhaps I will save these little rocks for that purpose because I'm always pulling the plants out of somewhere. I don't have an example of any stems. Oh, I guess I could use this one. I think that stem would fit down inside there. Yeah. Okay, I think that's everything. Oh, it's not really. I told you I wanted to show you some of the vessels that I've found. So these, I know that you can get similar ones to these on Temu, so definitely look out for that. These terracotta pots will take over my terracotta pots I have. I'm not going to drop these. I'm not going to break them. They weigh less. They're actually more interesting than the terracotta ones because they're kind of special and they definitely fit into the walls and my aesthetic of the things that I like. So I think that's it for the different. Yeah, I just have them in different sizes, and you can imagine that I'm so happy with all of those things. That's more than enough. Sometimes I find little Japanese ceramic things, so I've collected these barrels. Every time I find one of those at a thrift store, I usually buy it because barrels are very my turn of the century style that I like so much. So yeah, I do find these in different sizes, even though they don't really fit into my aesthetic, but I kind of like to collect them anyway. consistency made in Japan, just old Japanese ceramics. And they definitely have potential for adding a little pop of color. I think I don't like them as much as some of my other things is because they're a little bit too shiny. I would always choose one of these over one of these, but you can see that there's definitely options there, and they do look good displayed. If I want to add a little pop of color, I'm going all crazy with that little pop of yellow, huh, Anna? And so I have so many of these. Let's see here, and then yeah, I guess the rest of the ceramics that I have are things that aren't necessarily good for pots, but these I've got a cracked one of these bins from my recent sorting, so I am going to just bite the bullet. And it seems really sad for me because it took me years to collect these, and I really do love them. And I always wanted to do some kind of Greek geranium room, or even an outside. I wanted to do a crazy plant lady room and put plants everywhere, but I still can. Like I said, I have more than enough of these. It is such a shame, though, because it took me forever to hunt down the tiny little ones, but they weigh too much, and I'm probably just going to break them. So this is one of the first things that I love that I'm saying goodbye to. It's just that it's better off, and I have nice alternatives. So, all right, goodbye terracotta. Hello, other potential. And I think you can check out my last. Was it in my last video? I don't know. It was one of my last videos. I did just buy a new terracotta pot that was kind of similar to this, but a smaller version. So I can still have some terracotta in my collection. So that was the plants. I hope you had some ideas. Definitely look around your local dollar stores and maybe even Michael's. I have yet to venture into that realm, and because it's kind of a little more expensive. It's a lot more expensive, actually. I actually did pop in to Michael's for a second when I was going past one, and I saw that the prices were a little ridiculous compared to buying things from the dollar store, which is what I definitely prefer to do, because it's more fun to find the diamonds in the rough. That's part of the joy for me. Yes, so look for tiny the better. You want tiny little things. The tinier it is, the better it's going to fit into your 1/6 scale. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again real soon. Love you so much. Bye.